Hello, this is Colleen with Keeping the Peace, and welcome back to another episode of Colleen Answers Your Questions. Today we're answering a question from Bruce Junkermann here on YouTube, and he asked this question in the down bar of episode 15 in this same series where we talked about making your arms feel stable while shooting. Let me get to his question. He says, my wife and teenage daughter have very small hands, which makes reaching the trigger with the center of the first pad and a proper grip impossible. Any suggestions? They are shooting a Smith Wesson M&P 9mm with the smallest backstrap. Okay, small hands is a big problem with females. I have what I think are very small hands. Finding a gun that worked for me has always been a struggle. However, my very first carry gun was a Smith Wesson M&P in 9mm, and I did use the smallest backstrap, and I was able to reach the trigger, so their hands must be smaller than mine. You definitely have to have a gun that fits your hand well in order to benefit from the proper grip and the proper trigger finger placement. If you aren't able to use a proper grip and trigger finger placement, you're going to have definite effects on your shooting patterns. So finding a gun that fits you is very important. If you really like the platform of the M&P, you might want to consider the Shield. The Shield is just a little bit smaller version of the M&P. It's a little bit more compact. It's a great little gun. Basically what you're looking for is the distance between the uppermost part of your backstrap and the trigger face. You want to lay as many carry guns as you can close to one another and compare the distance between the uppermost curve of the backstrap and the trigger face. Find the gun that has the smallest distance between those 2 points. I think this is a great little gun. I'm able to shoot this really well, but if their hands are even smaller than that, they may want to consider. This is what I carry on almost a daily basis. Now, look at the difference between these two. I don't have a ruler handy, but I believe that the distance between this point and the trigger, which I'm not going to touch because my gun's loaded, I just pulled it out of my holster, I believe that the distance is smaller. This is a Sig Sauer P938. It's the 9mm version of this type gun. They also have a Sig P238, which is the 380 if you're interested in that, but since they already have an M&P, they're probably wanting a 9mm cartridge. This is one of the smallest little carry guns I have found that has a decent trigger. This does not have an excellent trigger. It has a decent trigger. There are lots of tiny little carry guns that have horrible triggers. I could list them if you'd like me to, if you want me to list that down below, and I'll tell you the ones that have really difficult, not fun triggers at all. This one has a single action trigger. I would guess it to be about 9 pounds. I'd love to have it reworked because I like it in the 4 to 5 pound range. That's my preference. This is probably 8.5 to 9 pounds, but it doesn't feel nearly as tough. I think this trigger is a lot more crisp and easy to shoot. This is a much more fun shooting experience than this gun, but the distance and the fit for my hand is much better on this one. What you definitely do not want is the distance to be so big that you end up creeping your hand around the side of the gun like this. So let me do it this way so you can see. This would be the alignment that you want. If you can't reach the trigger and you find yourself doing this in order to reach the trigger, that's going to cause you all sorts of problems in your shooting. Your wrist is going to want to bend under recoil. You're going to find your shots falling off to your strong side. You're going to end up maybe even with wrist pain. All kinds of things can happen with that. So you want a fully inline grip, and you want to be able to reach that trigger face fully. Now, if you would like, I can sort of put together a list for you of guns that you might want to look at. However, it's probably best to go ahead and empower you to be the one to just go look at as many small guns as you can. They're going to have small ones because those are the ones that are going to have that short distance. You can even ask the guy at the gun store to help you. Say, I want a gun that has the shortest distance between the uppermost part of the backstrap and the trigger face. That's what you want to look for. You might even be able to Google that. I haven't tried it, but you might be able to Google that and see what comes up. If you want to go ahead and try the Sig Sauer P238, P938, I prefer the 938 simply because I like the 9mm cartridge better than the 380 for self-defense. But go ahead and try that one, see what you think. I won't go into reviewing that gun right now, but that one does have a good small grip frame. Let me know what you think about it. You might want to try picking up the Shield, see what you think about that one. Comment down below after you've done that and let me know what your experience is. What do you find? You might even be able to send, I know this sounds silly, but send me the measurement of their hand. Let me see if it's way smaller than my own, because then I might be able to give you more of my own personal experience if it's about the same. Maybe there's something we can tweak in the grip. Hope this helps. And for anyone else out there with really small hands, if you have found the perfect gun for you and you think that might help these people, comment down below and let us know what you carry. Thanks. God bless.